Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And before we dive on in, I just want to say I hope everybody's having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are. We have a lot to go over. In the last 48 hours, there has been some significant updates that we are going to be addressing. So with that in mind, I want to talk about this video here that got posted by XRP Daily on November 24th. Brian Brooks, managing partner of Valor Capital Group. It's not that Ripple XRP is trying to replace the US dollar. It's trying to replace a system of transmitting value. So for me, the price is not that relevant any more than Google's volatility is. And in the early days of Google, that was super volatile.
So the point that I always try and tell people is, the biggest issue that I always try and focus on is cryptocurrencies are really not about currency. And the biggest misunderstanding of this whole discussion is the belief that if crypto is not doing a great job of replacing the US dollar, then crypto is failing in its mission. And what I think we'll talk about a little bit today is the idea that most of crypto is about replacing the centralized banking system with networks that allow user control versus bank CEO control. The crypto assets that have prices are more like internet stocks. It's more like you bet on Google if you think there's going to be high internet traffic, and you short Google if you think people are going to go back to the post office, right? But it's not that Ethereum or Ripple or anything else is trying to replace the US dollar. It's trying to replace a system of transmitting value. And we'll talk a lot more about that. So for me, the prices are not that relevant any more than Google's volatility is. And in the early days of Google, that was super volatile. So the point.
And you know what? This is one of the most incredible quotes out there. Why? It's not because of the significance of XRP's value or anything like that, but what he says there, right? In the beginning. And this is what I try to tell anyone that is like, Nick, what do you think about crypto? Like, where do you think crypto's headed? What's going on with crypto? My honest answer is very similar to what Brian is saying here. You don't talk about XRP as, yeah, I do think that everyone's going to be utilizing XRP to, buy coffee and buy their groceries and, pay their bills, because that's not the way that I look at this space. The better way of describing it would be, when you send money overseas, when you make a transaction, when you buy something on Amazon, yeah, well, it's not so much about what happens on Amazon, but it's what happens in your bank account. Because I can make a transaction today, I could buy something on Amazon today. That transaction is not settling for the next, give or take, 48 hours, 72 hours. The underlying technology is flawed. XRP is not trying to replace US dollar. It's not trying to replace any currency. I look at it as technology. I look at people utilizing XRP without utilizing XRP, if that makes sense. They don't know that they're using it. They just see, oh, my transaction settled in 3 seconds. That's how I imagine the future here. And I think that this video from 2018 really kind of sums things up. This is the face-off between Ripple XRP versus Ethereum. We have Brad Garlinghouse and Joseph Lubin. And what Brad says here about currency is 100% crucial to know.
Bitcoin is
an experiment in monetary theory. It's a breakthrough in emergent collaborative systems.
Complicated and maybe the future as a store of value.
In 5 years, cash will be...
Cash? I don't think cash is changing dramatically in the next 5 years.
Cash will be valuable still, but it may take on different forms. Some of those forms will be decentralized cryptocurrencies.
You should invest in XRP because...
Not even going to answer that.
We're solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem, and we're making a lot of progress towards that.
ICOs are...
fraud.
Speculative, and speculation drives innovation. So they're very important in creating foundational infrastructure.
Governments should embrace cryptocurrency because they can help make governments more efficient.
I am certain the government should embrace applications built on blockchain systems.
What keeps me awake at night is
Email.
keeping the Ripple momentum going.
To critics who say cryptocurrency is a bubble, I say yes, it's a bubble that drives innovation.
They were also the people shorting Amazon in 1997. Bitcoin.
So there you guys have it. And again, you could tell who the adults in the room are, but the cash question is one significant, right? Cash isn't going to see a significant move in 5 years because, again, this is 2018. 5 years is 2023. We haven't really seen too much significant movement on that. But now we are starting to see a lot of discussions regarding CBDCs, stablecoins, things like that. And before I jump on into this video, probably see at the bottom right of my screen. If you don't, OpenSea hack. OpenSea just recently had a major hack. A lot of people are losing money right now. Guys, Black Friday deal, 40% off, DCENT Wallets. 8 days roughly we have until this is gone. You could save 40% right now on a single biometric wallet. It's $50 off. On a double pack, you are saving $128, guys. You cannot afford to miss this opportunity. It happens only once per year. You can get 2 wallets right now for practically the price of 1. So definitely don't miss out on this opportunity. Links down in the description below as well as in the comments below. But also, let's dive into it. So as we see CBDCs being talked about quite a bit, and as we have been really focused on this overall, image of CBDCs and stablecoins and what could come from this, well, guess what? When we really kind of look into what's happening right now, I'm addressing and focusing on some of these areas like Argentina. November 21st, BRICS. What's happening with the US dollar and Argentina's peso? So the new BRICS member, Argentina's local currency, the peso, is facing heavy headwinds against the US dollar this month. The peso experienced a historical plunge against the US dollar, falling to an all-time low of 343. The Argentina government's decision to devalue the currency by 18%, raising the benchmark rate to 118%, is among the reasons for the drastic depreciation of the peso. The economic mismanagement, multiple defaults, US dollar scarcity, and debt led to the decline of the Argentine peso. Then down here you have the Argentine peso, 353 to $1. On the heels of the election, which saw Javier Milei being elected president, the peso plunged 353.83 on Monday. The price marks a new low for the currency. On the same day Milei won the election, the peso could see a more notable downward trajectory unless the new president comes up with the drastic changes to the economy. And will the Argentina's pesos be replaced by the US dollar? And that's the big thing. He actually campaigned that he would decline BRICS membership if he's elected president. He called BRICS members China and Russia assassin governments and questioned why they inducted Iran into the bloc. And then, of course, he goes on to be a little bit more political on the agenda. He stressed during the campaign trail that the peso is worthless and could replace the currency with the US dollar. Again, dollarizing Argentina. Now we're going to be addressing this. We're going to be talking about it. But over here, I also want to talk to you guys a little bit about what just happened on November 24th, because this is significant. So BRICS, the US dollar top loser, Saudi Arabia pays Chinese yuan for trade. Now, this is significant because what have I been saying for the last roughly, I want to say a year or so? Saudi Arabia is the last nail in the coffin for the US, because again, the petrodollar deal is very significant to watch, because this has been the last straw for the US dollar to have anything of value actually tied to it. So this is definitely interesting. And this trade deal is actually worth $7 billion, which isn't much technically, but it is still significant that Saudi Arabia is now working with BRICS on this. And it's all about oil. It's about the energy, utilities and things like that. This is a significant one. And again, as we see BRICS continuing to gain momentum, the big question is, what's actually happening here? What's actually going on behind closed doors? Well, let's dive into this. So going back to Argentina, we actually just seen that Javier said that he is going to close the country's central bank. This is an issue core to his platform. The closing of the central bank is non-negotiable. And here you guys have the actual announcement. Now, this is very significant because it's at the same time that we see 93% of central banks looking into CBDCs. We see ISO 20022 going fully live. And we're seeing a lot of traction on the new financial system side of things that we have been talking about for a little bit of time now. And one of those big things was what the IMF recently said. Why am I bringing up the IMF? Well, hours after we got this announcement that the Central Bank of Argentina is basically going to be closing its doors, we get this. Kristalina Georgieva, in first call with President-elect Javier Milei, we discussed the significant challenges for Argentina's economy and the decisive policy actions needed. The IMF is committed to support efforts to durably reduce inflation, improve public finances, and raise private sector-led growth. Very interesting here. Why is this significant? Is it because Kristalina Georgieva just recently said this? Central bank digital currencies can replace cash. Also, the same day, we got this. The Bahamas, Jamaica, and Nigeria now have CBDCs, and more than 100 countries are in the exploration stage. As policymakers seek more guidance, the IMF will continue assisting countries on how best to pursue CBDCs. And within this, many of the world's monetary authorities are seeking more guidance on how best to pursue digital forms of central bank money. Tobias Adrian is one of the key players behind a lot of this, which we've connected him back to Ripple quite a bit. Again, I don't want CBDCs, but it seems as though we don't really have a say within this. But again, we could try to fight it as much as we possibly can. Nonetheless, CBDCs can improve payment systems as well as financial inclusion if they are appropriately designed. If not, they could pose risk. They go in depth on this. Again, the private sector is being tapped in, as well as the evolution of of technology within the private sector. That's a key thing that they're mentioning here. And all of this was at the Singapore FinTech Festival. And remember who was a significant player there? Ripple. And again, there was a lot of players there as well, but I'm just saying like Ripple was a key player there as well. But there is a lot to really kind of look into within this. All of it is heavily focused on CBDC, private entities. Again, cross-border payments with CBDCs is a big one as well. And with new digital technologies that can make payment infrastructure programmable, some of the capital flow management measures could be implemented more efficiently and effectively with a CBDC compared to the traditional approach. And here you have central bank digital currencies' role in promoting financial inclusion as well. Again, banking the unbanked, if you will. And all of this is to pursue new technologies. We will keep assessing the potential effects of CBDCs on areas from financial stability to cybersecurity and cross-border payments and build on these first 5 chapters with new publications planned for next year. This is very significant. And again, the IMF will continue assisting countries exploring CBDCs along with efforts by other global bodies like the BIS, which the BIS tapped in with Ripple on the CPMI for cross-border payment infrastructure. You cannot make this stuff up. And then also, go back to 2022, 2 individuals that are, again, authors of this, Tobias Adrian and Tommaso Mancini, over here. 2 individuals, the same 2 individuals, bullet train, new tokens and platforms may transform cross-border payments and potentially much more. Like I said, this is why we have to look at everything here, because I could wear the tinfoil hat. I could speculate all day long, but all the signs pinpoint back. I'm not going to say it, but we all know. But also, another very significant video from Kristalina Georgieva, November 17th, CBDCs will be mandatory for everyone. The head of the IMF's International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, said that the globalist organization is working on a global CBDC platform that will be mandatory for all citizens of the world. This is their overall plan. Check this out.
That if we are to be successful, CBDCs could not be fragmented national propositions. To have transactions more efficient and fairer, we need systems that connect countries. In other words, we need interoperability. And for this reason, at the IMF, we are working hard on the concept of a global CBDC platform to trade and to manage risks. And my colleague, Tobias Adrian, will talk more about it later.
And again, she even refers back to Tobias, which again, when we go back to those private meetings with Ripple, guess who was spotlighting Ripple and their initiatives on cross-border payments? Tobias Adrian. This, I'm telling you right now, like as we look at what's going on here, the elites are already ahead of the game. This idea that Argentina is closing down their central bank, to me personally, hours after this, you see Kristalina Georgieva meeting with the president-elect, discussing their challenges. This is not by coincidence. This is all elite planned. And when we go back to BRICS, this is also something that has been already planted within the market. Like when we go back 2 years ago, when we seen SWIFT completely cut the BRICS out from the SWIFT network, Russia specifically, what we seen from there on out was significant changes. But beyond that, the same exact time, not even, a full day later, we got an executive order, 14067. What is it? Digital currencies, CBDCs. It's all by plan. The elites are now accelerating this plan. We're starting to see things moving very, very fast. You need to focus on the end goal of what they want. They want this global CBDC platform. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on for some more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.